This is my rooftop acreage. I live in a place where yards are small, but roofs are tall. So I realize what other people see, but what I see is modern day Viking ships that no longer float the sea. But we all still fight our wars. So everything is a matter of perspective. You want to see trailer houses? Shows me that you came from flat earth. You lack imagination and creativity. That's a you problem. But the ones of us that have to live here, we use our imaginations, because that's what you have to get by in the mountains. You have to know how to be creative to provide for yourself. But it's a lovely view. Big Sky, Montana. It's not an easy place to survive. What do you know, it's probably city slickers that get on my channel and talk crap to me, because them boys are actually little girls. Don't know how to make it in the big bad world. They probably have a woman supporting them too, paying their way, washing their dirty underwear. So you want to talk crap about my channel? Do that. Nobody actually cares what you have to say. But sometimes it pays to grow new perspective on where you live. Like I said, other people see trailer houses. I see a Viking longboat with an addition. Some of us forge our own paths while others follow a path already forged. True strength is taking initiative, doing that yourself. Little girls need their hands held. I'm not a little girl. But this house is mine. I pay rent for the lot, but the house is mine. I bought it myself. I didn't have somebody else pay for that for me. The yard needs work. But I got sick, so I had to fold everything in and wait for better days. Next year should be better. But you know, I pay less than $1,000 a month to get by. And with a view like this, it's worth every penny. I have to put up firewood every year. I have to work harder than most people. I have to do things all by myself. I'm only 113 pounds, so I have to get creative on how to lift heavy things or maneuver them where I need them. Because getting help around here, someone's gonna want me to take my pants off for that, and I'm not doing it. My pants stay on. If guys want to be that way, there's a $2 hooker up on the main drag. They can go do that. I'm not that girl. So before you start judging people, like, people have no clue about me, but yeah, they're coming on here, oh, you're drunk. Nope. Go talk to the complaint department, because I'm not interested in hearing your crap, sir. We live a hard life up here. You want to judge? Come do that to my face. Let's throw down. I might be 113 pounds, but I'll still beat your ass. Talk crap to me. If criminals know better, you should too. So, but like I said, I got sick. My viral load went up. Almost died. Well, everybody was making life more difficult on me on purpose because canyon hazings happen. And so I don't suggest you mess around with this Viking warrior queen. My sense of humor is on vacation. So that's where I live, guys. I'm still cleaning up my mess. I was sick for a couple of years, and so without help, I was barely getting by. I had no money to heal myself, no money for medicine, no money for food. The government is trying to kill off anybody on public assistance. You're on a hit list, people. So it doesn't matter if I'm sick. Doesn't matter if I'm well. I'm going back to work. Next week, I work 7 days. Am I worried? A little bit. But the bonus is that I no longer have to sit here every night by myself. I'll be going and making some money. Feeling better about my nights. The sad part is, well, you know, it's not like anybody wanted to connect with me anyways. Everybody's so busy connecting with their screens that, like, there's no connection happening out in the world. Y'all are under an illusion. Y'all are, like, addicted to your phones. I never see people without their phone anymore. And so I actually spend days, like, I'll listen to things, but I'm not face to face with the screen. I spend days trying not to connect with my phone. But it gets boring because nobody wants to connect. Nobody wants to connect. They don't want to turn their brain on. They just want to tune out or be numb. And so this tells me, like, humanity is going down the drain really fast. If people don't choose to check in, you're going to miss something. The Northern Lights. I went up to Glacier National Park. Come on, guys. And I felt the Northern Lights. I didn't just see them. I felt them all around me. And in that, I understood how everything connects to the matrix of things. We do live in a digital world. I saw the pixels around me. Pixels in the air. In the Northern Lights. Like it swooped down and came all around me. And I could feel it on my skin. So, unless you've had an experience, you're the one that doesn't know what you're talking about. The people that keep coming on here and taking a toxic dump on my channel. If you're not going out and having experiences, you're not living. If you're not going out and having experiences, then everything you know is nothing. What you know is hearsay. What you see in the screen, that's theatrics. There's a lot of theatrics on my own channel. So, you supposed experts out there that live in an office and seem to know everything, you don't. I absolutely know you don't. Why? Because I'm out here living experience. Living. Doing things. So I absolutely know. If you live in a box, if you live in a city, I lived in the city too. You don't know a damn thing until you've had to survive a hard winter out in the mountains. You don't know a thing. What I found out was the people up here in this area, no matter who they are, no matter what kind of criminal they are, no matter what their history is, they all have little genius ideas that they live every day. And so I absolutely saw why the government would want to watch them, because they don't even know how brilliant they are. So then the government takes these ideas and goes and implements them and lets these people continue to starve and struggle. Why? Because the government's greedy. They want to go out and make all the money instead of actually help people. All of it's a scam. They're not actually helping people. They make it look like they're helping people. Like Voc Rehab. I was supposed to be able to get a business loan that I pay back so that I could open my own business. What did they do? They denied me because I budgeted taxes. What's that? Another agency wanted to hire me. It's called SCORE. They help people start their own business. They help people get on their feet. They actually help people, but the wage is not that high. What do you know? And so this agency was like, we don't even know what we can do for you except for give you a job. So if you ever want a job, then come to us. We would hire you because your framework, your ideas, it's brilliant. We see you helping other people. Well, that explains some things. When I got my GED, right afterwards, I signed up for college, and my social worker called me up and said, if you show up for class, you will no longer get benefits. Do you want to know what I was going for? Social work. I was going to be a social worker. But my caseworker told me I couldn't get educated. What's that? If I'd have gotten an education, I would have never needed government programs again. I would have been fine working a job, doing what everybody else is doing. Other people got to go to college. They didn't get their benefits taken away. Why was I so special? Or unspecial? What was that? After I got sick with HIV, I was actually working, and the government took away my medications, HIV medications. And so I called them and I said, how can you do this? And she said, you fall in a ravine. And your family, anybody who loves you and you, would have been better off if you had given up and died. You actually were not supposed to survive that. Essentially, punishing me for surviving. What's that? And so it's been a struggle ever since. I knew that the people who claimed to be on my side, they were not on my side. They didn't care. They only pretend to care so that taxpayers keep giving them money. So that they can keep sitting at the office doing nothing. Having coffee and donuts like cops. What is that? Like, I see these people, they don't work. They pretend to work. And then they tell people like me that want to work, well, you're better off dead. What is that? What gives them the right to talk to me that way? I can only imagine the other people they've said that to. The hospital in our area, there's a gal in this neighborhood. I inherited her truck. The hospital would not treat her for her cancer. She had to go to the reservation to get help. What's that? White people construct can come down. Because if that's how white people are going to act, the rest of us don't need it. I don't care how white I am. I don't care. White people construct, like, you ruin everything. And that comes from the crown. The British crown, you ruin everything. You wrecking the planet, you're wrecking families, you're wrecking society, You're wrecking your own lives. I can only imagine what you've done to the palace. Look at Donald Trump tearing down historical buildings to build a gold-plated ballroom like an idiot. You people that think that there's streets of gold in heaven, that was a mistranslation. Notice those are the same people that showed up in America looking for gold. And what did the Native Americans hand them? Corn. So what are the odds it was mistranslated and it's actually rows of corn, not streets of gold? That is the corruption. That is the sick ego and greed. So, like, I'm not even proud to be white. I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed to be an American. I'm embarrassed to be white. I hope once I lose all my parasites, I change colors, because being white is overrated. So, yeah. Here we go. Another day in paradise.